Hello and welcome to KJ's Kitchen. I am KJ. I'm a master fitness trainer for the last 13 years. A fitness nutrition specialist means I help healthy people create healthy diet and nutrition choices. Most important to me, I am a happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours every Wednesday here on Facebook live at 12 o'clock Eastern. So today, I want to talk about harvesting that garden of yours. So a lot of my friends have been asking, do you want some zucchini? Now, I don't have zucchini in my container garden. I have a lot of herbs and leafy greens, but I gladly take the zucchini. Now, one girlfriend in particular, Shauna, if you're watching, thank you for the zucchini. She gave me the biggest zucchini I've ever seen. Now I've already chopped off the bottom. This is a big zucchini, right? So she said, she wasn't watching. It grew and grew. And all that's different about this guy is it gets seedy. You gut it more like you would a pumpkin, but you have a lot of flesh. So she said, it's great for zoodles. And being that my daughter hasn't really taken to zoodles, it's something that my husband and I are really good at eating. I thought, how can I put this food in my daughter with her gladly and willingly receiving it? So we are doing a version of zucchini bread. Now the biggest differences are it's going to be healthier, number one, and I'm going to throw you a good twist. And especially this is going to help with the littles. So if you have any children in your home, grandchildren, whatever it is, this makes it easy for them to go for it rather than slicing zucchini bread, which we know is delicious and awesome. Slap some butter on there, you're good to go. We're making them into muffins, and we'll be adding a little extra perk for those kiddos too. So let's start by getting you to start your oven at 375 just to preheat that oven. And today, a healthy alternative I'm doing that you wouldn't do in a zucchini bread, in these muffins, I'm actually using oats. So why? Because definitely you're getting more nutrition out of the oats than you are just wheat flour or white flour, however you want to call it. But you can do gluten-free. So you can make sure your oats are gluten-free. I'm actually taking rolled oats. Yes, we get ours at Trader Joe's. They are gluten-free. I keep them in a nice little Tupperware. I keep as much as I can into Tupperwares to preserve them. I'm going for 3.5 cups of oats I'm putting into my dandy little food processor to make it more like a flour. So it's going to behave like a flour. The only difference between using oat flour or white or wheat flour would be that it's going to just be ultra moist. And who doesn't want an ultra moist cupcake or muffin, whatever you want to call these? So what we need is 3 cups of ground oats or oat flour. If you are buying it as oat flour, just use 3 cups. If you're making it yourself like I am here, you're going to want to put an extra half cup in, because once it blends down to a powder, it will become 3 cups. So that was 1. We're going to rock and roll for 2 and 3, and then a little half cup just to help top off that once it's ground. And that is it right there. What I'm doing is putting my food processor together quickly, and I'm going to make it into a powder form like a flour, right? Check it out. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna go a little longer. It doesn't take much time. Now you can leave it a little chunky. That means you're gonna have grainier muffins or cupcakes. But if you especially have littles, make it as fine as possible so it behaves and acts like regular white flour. They'll never know it's loaded with oatmeal. How healthy is that? So there we go. I can show you quickly how fine that was. And that didn't take much time, did it? There I've got what I call oat flour. I'm sure there's a difference between grinding oats and actual oat flour, but this is what I'm using in this recipe, and it's delicious and a lot of fiber for you and those littles. Now, fiber helps us stay trim because not only does it keep us fuller longer, meaning we're not eating as often, but it also aids in elimination of the colon, which our colon holds a good 20 to 25 pounds of undigested junk. So the more you can eliminate, the better. Also helps with keeping blood sugar stable. So whenever you're eating, if there's a lot of fiber in your food, snacks, and meals, you're gonna have more balanced blood sugar as well. So here we are. I am a little precise when it comes to baking. Not everything's eyeballing as I do with my pancakes. So I'm just getting rid of this because I'm gonna need the food processor again. I'll show you what and how. So I'm just dumping this into a little 3-cup container because number one, now I know it's 3 cups because that's what I'm telling you goes in the recipe today. Number two, it clears out my canister. And here we go. Now, if you went ahead and did what I did and you ground up your own and it didn't make it to 3 cups, then just top it with some real oats. It's no big deal. But to me, that is awesome. 3 cups right there. I'm setting her aside. There's my oats. Remember where those are for me. And what I'm doing here with this food processor is prepping my zucchini. If you do not have a food processor, you're gonna shred it, okay? And it might take you a little longer, but I promise you, once it's done, once you've tasted these and you put zucchini in your body and your kid's body and think it's the most delicious thing in the world, you will take the time to shred it. But I'm just gonna show you how you can shred it quickly in a food processor. What I want you to make sure you do is to peeling off the zucchini. So I prepped these before you arrived and I cut them small. When you're shredding, they can get long and stringy. Not that the zucchini won't kind of mush down. If you've ever grilled it on the stove and sauteed zucchini, it gets mushy easily. So it will mush into your cupcake or your muffin. But the skinnier you make it, the shorter the shreds. If you have really picky children who might see something, you will even slice it thinner. But this is the beauty of the food processor. If you don't already own one, you might be running to buy one after today to see how quick and easy you can do shredding and slicing in a food processor in a cinch. So here we go, putting this back on. I didn't even rinse it because the oats and the zucchini are gonna meet later anyway. So I got this topper locked on. Here I go. Yes. Skinny zucchini. I'm gonna need 2 cups of shredded zucchini. As fine as I can. So get on, push that puppy through. And that's what I'm feeding it, like I'd feed a juicer. There I go. A little bit more. Last one, guys. Boom. So you could sit and shred it all, and that's okay. But I just want to show you how fast and easy it could be to have shredded anything. You can shred your carrots, your whatever, if you're doing slaw. So you definitely, if you don't have a food processor and you saw how fast that was, you might be getting one. And it also has a slicer as well. So if you're into like homemade chips and potatoes, scalloped potatoes, that kind of thing, it also can do the mandolin stuff, like boom, in a hurry. What we're doing, zucchini holds a lot of water, like it's gonna be very liquidy, so we're gonna sit it on paper towel and let this dry up a bit while we do the actual batter. So I take, we have the little pick your size paper towels, and now if you are really conscious about the environment, you can just use regular towels and wash them, but I'm using paper towel today, and I do 3 thick, top and bottom, because I'm gonna squash it and actually put this out. I need 2 cups, remember. And I saw a peeling. I'm going to take it out so it's not dark in my muffin. Now 2 cups might be a medium zucchini to you if you don't have a monster zucchini like I have here. And I'm literally just pressing it out just a little, and then I'm going to let it sit there, and it's going to drain out itself while I go to working on the batter. And pressing that out a bit. That's it. So you see it here, it's just sitting in the paper towel doing its own thing, and we're just gonna leave it there for a bit. If you have picky eaters and you think something this big, once mushed down, is gonna be visible to them, you might take a butcher knife, or whatever, chopping knife, and chop them into even smaller pieces. That's okay too. It's just gonna be one extra step. That's up to you and your family. Yeah, so I'm gonna let that sit there while we go to work on some batter. Get a medium mixing bowl. See you later, processor. Medium mixing bowl here. Starting out with all of the liquids, okay? We're gonna start with coconut oil. We use organic, unrefined. You want it liquidy, you don't want it hot. So if you're melting it in the microwave, let it sit a little bit. You don't need it to be hot. You do need it to be liquid, a 1/4 cup of oil. There we go. And if you don't like coconut oil, that's okay. Choose something else like avocado oil. You could even use a really pale flavored olive oil. I think olive oil has a particularly distinct flavor. I don't necessarily want to taste that in my baked goods unless it's an olive oil cake. And next we're gonna go with our sugars. Now here's where we get mindful about a cupcake. And I promise you, once you eat these, you can actually frost them and use them as cupcakes too for parties because they're so good. You are going to use a banana. A nice big old brown banana. Yes, this one's a little browner than normal because it's been in the fridge a couple days and the peeling got browner. And I would say 1 medium-sized banana all smushed up. If you really want the ratio, I smush it with a fork. I like to show you. I think it's about a 1/2 cup here, and if you need a little more banana, you can. A little less. When it comes to sweetening with banana, it's give and take really, because the more you add, the more banana-ish it is, but it's also loads of sweetness. So if the banana is very brown and ultra sweet, you're pretty safe just at a solid 1/2 cup here. I don't know how you smash your bananas. I use a fork. I'm smushing it into my little 1/2 cup measurement just so I can be pretty precise at giving you a real recipe and not just everything eyeballing, which is fun and easy when you're alone, but I'm sharing. So 1/2 cup of smushed banana going into that oil. So that's one of my sugars. Let's talk about, that's definitely glycemic friendly because when you're consuming sugar from fruits, that fructose is actually slow digesting. So it is glycemic friendly, the banana. We're gonna go with some honey. If you don't love honey, you might choose maple syrup. And like I preach often, I like local and raw. 1/4 cup of honey. If you can go organic, even better, or at least talk to the local person you're getting it from and ask them how they treat their bees. There's my 1/4 cup of honey. Get that in there. So these aren't sugar-free by any means. These are a little healthier than adding a cup of white sugar. That's usually what you do when baking, is in nice sweet muffins, breads, and cupcakes and all those kind of things, baked cakes. Usually it's a cup or a cup and a half of white sugar, right? Which is definitely not mindful. So with the 1/2 cup banana, 1/4 cup of honey, and now, last but not least, a 1/4 cup of coconut palm sugar. This is organic, unrefined. Why is this better than white sugar? I've had this discussion. They may be the same calorie load. These are definitely helpful because it's glycemic friendly, again, to avoid the blood sugar spikes. So it's more mindful, and it does have some awesome trace minerals in there, zinc, calcium, potassium. So you've got yourself a few extra minerals. It is calorically the same as using white sugar, just more mindful because it won't elevate your blood sugar the same way white sugar will. If you have already made your 1/4 cup all slimy from your honey like I just did, then do know that a 1/4 cup is actually 4 tablespoons. So it's a 1/4 cup of this brown, coconut palm, or 4 tablespoons if you messed up your cup like I did. That's it right there. I'm smushing this all together Just giving it a little swirl around. Gonna get my vanilla in there, everything liquid first. Get a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Boop. Got that rocking. And here we go, just giving it a little stir. I am gonna use the mixer. So here's the deal. I am holding off on adding my egg until I've mixed this up. I do have room temperature eggs. That's because then it won't solidify that coconut oil. But if you are in a rush and you didn't leave your eggs out long enough, if you pre-blend the sugar with the oil, it will help eliminate that like hardening of the oil, right? So here we go. Now I've got 2 eggs. I didn't have much time to prep, so I cracked them open so they would get to room temperature quicker than sitting in their eggshell, which is harnessing the coldness. So I cracked them open and then let them sit out. They've been sitting out for maybe 20 minutes. They're sweating. I think they're better than cold. I'm popping them in there. 2 eggs, and I'm still giving it a whirl. You really want to mix this really well. You go high speed on you. Perfect, that looks blended to me. Nice and soupy, nice and loose. Too bad I don't have an overhead camera, you could see it, right? So all I'm doing now is slowly adding in the dry. And now when it comes to this, you could take your time and stir in your baking soda and baking powder into your dry mix, but it's not necessary. So I'm gonna take a half teaspoon baking soda, half teaspoon baking powder, full teaspoon of cinnamon. That again is going to give me a level of sweetness without sugar that will complement this. Last but not least, a half teaspoon of salt. My family uses pink Himalayan sea salt, packing in the extra minerals. And as I go to the low sitting on the mixer, I'm gonna start to sprinkle in my oat powder. This is pretty much wrapping it up, guys. I'm just gonna start this here on level 1, low and slow, and start adding in my oats little by little. Wish you could see this. Can you see this? Ooh, that was a big drop! It's not gonna matter. It'll all work out in the end, guys, I promise. There we go, oats are in. Officially, all oats are in. I get my dandy spatula, I start scraping the sides. There we go, we are mixed and mixed. You don't need to overmix, so long as everything's wet. Now you can, whoopsie. Did you hear that? Nothing broke. Okay. You can see the grain of the oats now, right? That's not gonna matter. Now, if I'd have taken a little more time to blend it a little longer, it would act more like white flour, but I promise once this cooks down, it's going to be so smooth and not grainy and chunky. Your kids are gonna love it. So that's what the batter is gonna look like, right? Sticky, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna toss in 2 cups of my zucchini. I'm just gonna shimmy my, can you see what I'm doing here? Whoop. Gonna shimmy, I'll do it here so you can see. Shimmy my napkin. Now before you arrived, I already had some zucchini out because I did a little morning session here with minis. And I'm just putting it down. I give it a little press because the more zucchini in there, the healthier. The extra fiber, the extra vitamins and minerals, and you get more in those children, right? So I pack it down nice and tight. There's 1 cup already. Drop her in. Can you see what I'm doing over here? Got my 2nd cup coming. Here we go. Yep. Now, if you're using a food processor like myself, you might find a couple of these guys in there. Pick them out. You'll see them. They're not going to be mysterious. Okay, 2 cups of zucchini. That's a lot. And here's one of the twists. If you don't have children at home and you are happy eating a healthy, delicious zucchini cupcake or muffin, whatever you want to call it, because I think they're sweet and awesome, you may not do chocolate chips. That's going to be up to you. I got kiddos. They see chocolate chips, they're like, give them to me. So I'm putting in a 1/3 cup of minis. Mini morsels means they spread out more, less chocolate per bite. 3/4 cup, and this is it, guys. We're in the home stretch. Just gonna stir that around. Now, the zucchini looks ultra shredded, meaning like, oh, I saw a piece. Take out those chunks. The zucchini looks ultra shreddy, meaning you might be like, oh my goodness, my kid would never eat this. But like I told you in the beginning, it will smush down and kind of like morph into the dough as it's cooking in the oven. So you don't need to worry. If you make these once and your kids can see it, then the next time you're just gonna use that knife and chop it a little finer. That's it. I tossed it around. Everything looks pretty even in the mixture. You want chocolate chips spread everywhere is the most important in my world with those kiddos. I don't want some muffins not having chocolate chips, right? That's the dough. Can you see in there? Chocolate chips, zucchini, oats, mindful sugars, that's banana, honey, and coconut palm sugar. And you're gonna prep your tins. I've shown you in one of my other videos, I really love little silicone cupcake holders. They're environmentally friendly. You don't throw them away like you do paper. You can reuse them. You wash them out, and they're very easy to wash. And nothing sticks to these guys. You don't need to put oil or anything in there. I'm just gonna rock out a couple of those. I would say you'll build it. They don't rise a ton. So you can build it to the, maybe just under the top, right? I don't know how to say that. Maybe 3/4 of the way full. I'm just using a nice tablespoon here. Getting those in my tray. Doop, doop. Bear with me. Show you what we got. Now, if you are prepping for a birthday party or it's, you know, 1-year-old smash cakes and stuff, you could do this. It's so mindful. You could do this, and then I suggest things like a cream cheese frosting on top because it will complement the cinnamon in the muffins. You can play around with what to add. If you don't want chocolate chips in your house, maybe you want to go with some mini wild blueberries. Maybe you want to go with raisins or dried cranberries. Like, you can play around with this recipe. I'm giving you the base right here. And I would love to hear, if you do play around, like, write to me. If you're not already on my newsletter and you're not getting these recipes to your inbox, be sure to sign up. And I love communication, so just hit the reply button and tell me what you did to these muffins. I will post my favorite cream cheese frosting in the recipe as well. So you'll have it as an option in case you're using this as a smash cake or as actual cupcakes for a healthy alternative. You will have a really delicious complementing frosting that's not overly sweet. Because it's mostly cream cheese and butter, it's just loaded with healthy fats versus a lot of sugar. People can make frosting out of sugar and water, so definitely will help you. Wipe that hand off. Check out my beautiful tray. They're pretty full, right? I'm gonna pop these in the oven for 20 minutes. You'll set your timer, because I'm a mom. I don't have time to watch the clock. So set my timer, I got it going. Before I saw you today in my kitchen, I made minis. So you can use a mini tray, and you'll wanna just oil them unless you have mini silicones. I don't. I just use coconut oil to oil them. And little itty bitty minis. If you have little people who like to eat little things with their little hands, you've got yourself a rock and roll mini muffin. Okay, I'm gonna break it open. I'm not gonna take a bite because I'm cleansing today. Okay, I'm gonna break it open and show you. There's no weird green stuff. No weird green stuff at all. Chocolate chips throughout. Ooh, Might string a little if they really get dangling like this. And they are phenomenal. I would bite it for you and tell you how good they are. I know they're good. I've already had them. My husband tasted the minis this morning. He thought they were phenomenal. So if you are not already subscribed, there will be a link. When these muffins come out of the oven, I'm going to take a really pretty picture. I will have it ready for you to drop to your inbox. If you're already subscribed to KJ's Kitchen's newsletter, do not click the link again. This recipe's already headed your way. If you would like to get today's recipe and all my future recipes, sign up in the link that I will be posting, and it will be in your inbox today. And all future recipes. All of the back recipes are slowly coming out. They'll be coming out on Saturday mornings. So you'll be getting your Wednesday fresh recipes. And then on Saturdays, you'll be getting some of the recipes I've already completed. So thank you. Join me every Wednesday at noon here on Facebook in KJ's Kitchen. A happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours. Have a fabulous Wellness Wednesday. Please share this or follow me if you aren't already. And we'll see you next week.